Hello friends, welcome or welcome back. I'm a little discombobulated because as I was sitting down to record this portion of the video, I had a little cry. It was a happy cry because I found out that I'm Employee of the Month at my job this month. I'm jazzed because I've been working really hard. If you'd like me to be Employee of the Month at this channel, why don't you drop your favorite emoji in the comments below to show the YouTube algorithm that I am worthy of their attention. On Patreon, every so often I will ask, hey, do you have any video requests? Is there anything you want me to talk about? My face is itchy because I put cream paint on it. I don't know why. At some point in time, somebody said guilt, and it is on my list of videos to make, and here we are making it today. Welcome. Here comes the guilt. Hello, guilt. Welcome. I was raised like some flavor of Catholic, so guilt is something that I have a lot of experience with, and it was my mother's favorite parenting tool when I was a child. So I don't respond well to guilt now. I kind of shut down. If I start feeling guilty, you'll know it because I will compulsively apologize. It kind of goes along with the last video from last week. Oh, also welcome to October. We do makeup and stuff on this channel in October because, well, since I'm going to be paying off my makeup education for the rest of my life, probably, hopefully not, subscribe. We're going to use the skills. Anyway, and maybe we'll pay the bills. Guilt is something that it can make people behave in fascinating ways. Everybody responds differently to guilt. That kind of goes for every emotion, every emotional response, every thing that happens, you know, between your ears. Everybody reacts differently to everything. Some people get angry when they feel guilty. If you push your feelings away because they're unpleasant, you're not going to understand them enough to coexist peacefully with them. There's a lot of people who do not coexist peacefully with their thoughts and feelings. They kind of shove them into a room back here and try to like seal off the door and just make it impossible for whatever they're hiding to come out. And that doesn't create positive associations with whatever it is that you're trying to squish down. And I'll tell you something. If all you have are negative associations with emotion and expression of emotion, you're gonna have a bad time. It's like a muscle. Who knew? The brain is like a muscle. If you don't use it, it will turn to mush, is something that my mother always told me. There's a lot of things that she told me though, so take that with a grain of salt. A way that I am trying to combat the overwhelming urge, like the instinct to default to guilt in any given situation, is that I try to look at myself from an outside perspective, which is quite easy when you have a dissociative disorder. You spend a lot of time not in the driver's seat between your ears. Anyway, I try to think of myself as a friend, or if it was somebody that I love, would I want them to feel guilty about this? And like 9 times out of 10, no, of course not. That would be unreasonable. Oh, and then you apply it to yourself. It's harder to apply. It's like Alice. She was like, oh, I offer great advice, but I very seldom take it. She also just kind of ate mushrooms on a whim. You know what? Maybe don't worry about it. Basically, I think the reason why I've been asked to make this video is to help you combat guilt. I have many people to give me perspective, I suppose. But if you are where I have been previously, where you don't have people, you do not have family given or chosen, you're just you, kinda standing there on an island with your trauma and your guilt and your grief, not knowing what to do with any of it. Thinking of myself as myself has not always helped, if that makes any sense. Thinking of myself as the child I once was helps. when you are feeling guilty, something that I have tried that has helped me, that I'm not a medical professional, so I'm not my completely like uneducated advice. My teeth look really yellow with silver and gold around them. Oh well, anyway, is that treat yourself like your inner child. Treat yourself with the kindness that you would offer to a child or to somebody that you love in your life. Treat yourself with the kindness that you should have been given from day one and weren't for whatever reason. It can feel kind of silly. I'm 31 years old, so it's kind of like, oh, I should be more gentle with my inner, like the little girl that's sitting in my chest. Oh, my dog is whining. I knew you would miss me. Hello, Swedish. Hello, Swedish. How you doing? Basically what it comes down to is if you start feeling guilty and you're able to stop yourself from spiraling, do it. There, the end. Thanks for watching. Apply the guilt you're feeling to the small child that you once were, because often that is who is in the driver's seat, making you feel all of this guilt, because that is who was trained to think and feel that way. Does that make any sense? If you are feeling guilty, to me, there are productive emotions and there are unproductive emotions. And I spend a lot of time personally stuck in what I deem to be unproductive ones, which are, well, I can't think of them right now because I'm trying to, but guilt is like very high on that list. Because personally, when I am sitting in guilt, I'm not being compassionate to myself. I am not learning anything. I'm not necessarily growing. I'm just stewing in unpleasant emotion. And often when we're carrying a lot of guilt, we can project it onto those around us, which, much like negative self-talk, it can put the burden of emotional labor on the people around us to be like, hey, no, stop feeling guilty, please, like I don't know how else to tell you that you are fine. And people respond to our guilt in different ways a lot of the time. So if you express your guilt in a certain way, you need to be prepared for people to receive it however they're going to receive it and give you back whatever they're going to give back to you. It's just complicated being a human. I don't know what else to say. I like to walk my dog after recording videos, but I have to take off the makeup I put on. Have to is a strong term, but like, I don't necessarily play nicely with others, so I don't want them to talk about, you know, anything on my face. If you're feeling guilty, whether you've done something wrong or not, I want you to be gentle with yourself. And remember that you can only meet the world where you are at. If you feel guilty about not having been like vocal enough about a cause that is important to you now in the past, that's another thing I saw on the internet recently. It said, when you know better, do better. If you didn't know better, how can you be expected to have done any better if you didn't know any better? So I would love for you to be gentle with yourself in that regard, because we're all just doing our best and trying to survive. Even if guilt is your first instinct, that's okay. You're allowed to think, process, feel everything. That is your role on this earth as a human, is to have a human experience, and sometimes guilt is a part of that, but it doesn't have to be the part that dictates your actions and the way you feel about yourself. So basically what I'm trying to say is, don't forget to be kind to yourself and others today. Just because you feel guilt does not mean that you are guilty. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to be kind to yourself and others. And we're all just doing the best we can. And I think that's great. Your best will look different at different stages in your life. And I should truly stop talking and stop recording so that I can get out of here. Oh, she's falling asleep. She's very cute.